Ahoy, hoy, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The O Show. I'm O, and I'm here for your amusement. And it is the end of June 2024. We are about to end Pride Month. Hey, hey, hey. And today, if you are watching this video, is Sunday the 30th, which is actually Chicago Pride. So happy Pride, Chicago. Hey. Okay, so I was thinking, like, what movie should I talk about in honor of Pride, right? And then I was like, duh, To Wong Foo, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. Y'all, like, I love this movie. Okay, and you cannot take it serious, okay? This is not a movie to take serious. This is just a fun watch. That is it, from beginning to end. Yes, this movie has a lot of problems, and I will get into it right now. But, yeah, this is definitely not something you should go into and be like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's fun. It's fun. So, it is, again, To Wong Foo, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar, starring Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, and John Leguizamo. Okay? It came out in 1995. I still remember going to the Brickyard, I think it was a Cineplex Odeon movie theater, and seeing this movie. And, yeah, it was a good time. So, yeah, let's talk about it. So the film opens up with Patrick Swayze as Vita Boheme, Wesley Snipes as Noxzema Jackson.
Noxzema Jackson?
Noxzema?
Mm-hmm. Jesse's daughter.
And John Leguizamo as Chichi Rodriguez. And them and a bunch of other queens are competing in this Drag Queen of the Year in New York City, right? So it ends up being a tie between Vita and Noxzema. And Chichi, like, runs off the stage because she is, like, devastated that she didn't win. Like, she so thought she was going to win this one. Afterwards, we see Chichi crying on some stairs as Vita and Noxzema are going up the stairs. And y'all, like, this just starts. This movie has nothing but just memorable lines, like repeatable lines. Like, I just love. And I don't know if this is all like ad-lib. Like, I know John Leguizamo was doing a whole shitload of ad-libbing in this movie, but I don't know if they were just making shit up on the spot or if it was actually part of the script. But, like, it's just so damn funny.
Little Latin boy in drag. Why are you crying?
Maybe she just found out Menudo broke up.
And how through styling and the occasional makeup tip, I helped her look just a little bit less like Mom's Mabley.
Mom's Mabley.
So Vita and Noxzema decide to take Chichi with them because after they won the Drag Queen of the Year, they went a trip to California to compete in a bigger pageant. Right? And so they were like, well, you know what, Chichi, let's go. You come with us. So they end up going to this restaurant and they see Robin Williams. But what always got me about this scene is someone explain it to me if I'm missing it, because years later I still watch this movie and I'm like, I don't understand this transaction that went down. So they have 2 plane tickets and they're like, we're gonna trade these plane tickets for something to take Chichi with us, right? And so Robin's all like, ooh, what about like a train? And, you know, someone says bus and whatever. So they decide they're going to drive from New York City to LA. So Robin's like, okay, well, let's see. Here's a card, Crazy Elijah's, like, car lot. And he's like, drop my name, you get anything for $50. I'm like, so wait, did he ever give them money for the plane tickets? Because it's like, we need to dump these plane tickets, you know, do something. And he's like, you know, go buy a car. So they have to spend $50 on a car. Like, did they ever get money for the plane tickets? Is what I want to know. It's not like they're spending money. You never see money exchanged. I don't understand what happened. It's like they went in with plane tickets and walked out spending money. So, anyway. So they take a picture of Julie Newmar, who was up on the wall behind them, and they go to the car lot. They get their beautiful, stylish car, and they take off, and they head to California.
Well, Pumpkins, it looks like it comes down to that age-old decision. Style or substance.
Like, who doesn't enjoy a road trip? Like, they look like they were having so much fun on this road trip. Okay, so one night they're driving and they don't know where they are. They think they're in West Virginia. They never actually say what state they're in, but apparently it's not West Virginia. And because they have a tail light out, they get pulled over by a cop. And the cop is Sheriff Dullard, even though it's Dollard. And everyone keeps saying, like, well, it says Dullard, there's a U. And I guess the gag is it's a misprint. But anyway, the sheriff is played by the late Chris Penn. Aww, you guys remember Chris Penn? So his horny racist ass, okay, decides to get Vita out of the car and puts his hand up her dress, where Vita's like, "Get your hand off my dick."
That is some sugar.
Please, no. Please, no. Look, when a lady says no, she means... Get your hand off my dick, buddy!
Be careful, Gigi.
Oh, I can't believe this.
Mummies, don't quote me, but I think this one is the season.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. A dead white policeman? A dead white policeman?
Should we blow? Should we blow?
Yes, 2 words, follow. Chi-Chi, come on, let's go. We don't have any time for that.
Oh, don't leave me here like this with this dead man.
Look, Miss, you bring us up on him. Get yourself in this car right now.
So to make them feel better, they find a rest stop and they go change. They're like, let's like get the cooties off of us and just put on some new clothes and we'll feel better. So they do, and as they're getting back into the car don't start. So they're like, fuck, we're stranded in the middle of nowhere. But they are saved by a passing truck just driving out of nowhere. Don't know what Bobby Ray is doing at this time of night. Just driving around, but luckily he is, because he picks up Chi-Chi and then he goes and picks up the other two and they go to, is it Spidersville?
Get inside, Perras. I got us to ride to Snydersville.
That's Snydersville.
Alright, so he comes to like this bed and breakfast, and again, this is a little dinky ass town. Like, I don't understand how there's a bed and breakfast and Virgil's towing company is making any money. Because, like, who's going to Snydersville? Anyway, I'm not supposed to think about that. Remember, this movie's not serious, so stop. Okay, so look. This is where we are introduced to Carol Ann, played by Stockard Channing, and her asshole abusive husband, Virgil. So, the next morning, Virgil's looking at the car, and he's like, I can fix it, but I don't have a part. I don't have Cadillac parts. You guys are going to have to wait till Monday. So, y'all, John Leguizamo, like, kills me at this part.
Wait. Oh, no.
Excuse
See,
me,
there were
Mr.
people waiting for me.
I need a bus.
I
got a date with Destiny. If I'm late, they charge me.
You understand?
Okay, so then this is where, like, the fun begins. Like, they're trapped in this town. They have to stay in this one room at the bed and breakfast, and then, you know, they all, like, they decorate it to their taste liking. Okay, so beautiful. And then, you know, you got the interactions with the town folks. So we're introduced to Beatrice, played by Blythe Danner. Blythe Danner. Loretta, played by Beth Grant. Clara, played by Alice Drummond. And then you got Myrna. And you know what's so funny? When I first saw this movie, I kept looking at Myrna like, who the hell is this lady? Like, I know this lady. And I don't remember, like, staying for the credits. I might have, I don't know. And then I probably didn't think, like, oh, I should look to see who's playing Myrna. But it wasn't until, like, years later. Yeah, it was years later that I actually paid attention to the credits. And I'm looking at this name, and I'm like, wait, I know that name. It hit me like, oh, that's the mom from A Christmas Story. Because I'm so used to not really seen her anywhere else. I just always see her in a Christmas Story, and all of a sudden she popped up in To Wong Foo. I probably saw her in other stuff, but I never really noticed. So yeah, that's the mom from A Christmas Story. So little fun fact for me, because I'm probably the only one who finds that interesting. So y'all, this is when a lot of like the editing is just questionable because so okay, there are these like 5 guys in this town who I guess are like the town thugs, and they're all like surrounding Chi-Chi. Like there's going to be a total gangbang happening right now. But she is saved by Bobby Ray, who again is just creeping around in his truck like he was the night before, and he is a saving Chi-Chi and driving her off. And it's so funny because
That's how you pick up a lady.
same day they park somewhere and they're walking and talking, and then Chi-Chi looks and this is Coca-Cola billboard, and Bobby Ray wrote like "Love that Chi-Chi," right? But when you stop to think about it, it hasn't even been 24 hours yet. You picked this girl up last night, you drove her into town, okay, you saved her from getting like raped by all these dudes, and you're like in love with her. Like, was this dude like masturbating all night long? Because he is obsessed with Chi-Chi, where he must have got a ladder and painted her name on this billboard. So that was like, you know, I would think that wouldn't happen until like Sunday, but you know, it's Saturday apparently. So okay, so that happened. Another weird editing situation is so when Beatrice is telling the girls like who the ladies of the town are, they're introduced to Clara, right? And so she drops a picture, and Noxzema sees that she drops this picture and goes to help her. Then Claire's like running away, right? Now this lady is not walking that fast. Okay, yeah, she's busting Yui's.
Picking it up for you because I didn't want it to get dirty. Oh no, girlfriend, did you just do a Yui? Oh girl, I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm gonna get you. Honey, I'm just trying to give you back your picture. Oh, ow. I don't find this funny anymore.
But we cut away to other things, and then when we come back to Noxzema and Clara's already at her house on the porch looking at a photo album, and Noxzema is just now coming to the house. So what happened between the last time we saw them until this point? Because it just looks like this lady got into a car and drove home, which she didn't. She was walking. But she had time to get to her house, sit down on her porch, open the book, and start flipping through it. And then all of a sudden, Noxzema just comes up to the, what happened? So anyway, so Vita and Noxzema are hanging out with the girls in Bobby Joe, what's his name?
Jimmy J.
Joe.
Oh, Joe J.
Jimmy Joe.
Jimmy Joe.
And so they introduce everyone to A Day with the Girls. And Myrna's like, well, I own the beauty shop. And everyone gets makeovers, okay? So they get their hair done, they get their nails done. There's a little interaction with Noxzema and the town bullies. That's actually pretty funny.
Do you like my nails?
And then we have a little montage with everyone putting on new outfits that Noxzema found in the attic of like this town store. And we got to make sure that Loretta checks herself before she wrecks herself.
Ooh, check yourself, Loretta, or you wreck yourself.
So going back to Carol Ann, who's played by Stockard Channing. Carol Ann is in her abusive relationship with Virgil, right? And we see that he's crazy because Carol Ann's looking out her window, watching the girls like having fun, and she's just kind of trapped in the house. But there's a part later where Chi-Chi is talking about how she has a love, and Vita's telling little Bobby Lee, just imagine, and you'll have this boy of your dreams, right? And then so she kicks Chi-Chi under the table. It kind of drags her away. You think the next scene is going to be her giving her a talk or something, but all of a sudden, like, Vita magically ends up in the kitchen with Carol Ann after she got, like, beat by Virgil or whatever. How do we get into the house, Vita? Like, you were just outside with Chi-Chi. Is the cafe, like, around the corner from Carol Ann's house? Like, I always thought that I must have got up to go pee or, like, go to the kitchen to get some snacks or something, because there seems like there should be, like, a scene in between, but there never is. She's just all of a sudden in the kitchen for no reason. So, moving on. That night, everyone's, like, sitting outside, and Bobby Ray comes around to ask Chi-Chi out. And it's so funny because he's like, Bobby Lee, can you go take the little ones inside? I need to talk to Chi-Chi. Why? I never understood why he needed the kids to go in the house to ask Chi-Chi out. Like, who is Bobby Ray's parents? Why is this horny little boy just walking around town? He's always just in his truck, not going nowhere. He's walking around late at night to ask Chi-Chi out when, like, you should have did that a long time ago. You painted I Love Chi-Chi on, like, this billboard, and now you're asking her out? So anyway, Bobby Lee's like, oh my god, that's who I love, but he's in love with Chi-Chi, and there's all this stuff. Chi-Chi asks Bobby Ray, like, come back later. So now the queens are in their room, and they're talking and doing all this stuff, and they're having a fight, particularly between Vita and Chi-Chi. And then we hear Virgil beating Carol Ann's ass. Like, what happened? She was, like, outside. See, it's all Bobby Ray and Chi-Chi's fault. Carol Ann would have got her ass beat. If Bobby Ray would just stay his ass home. She could have been outside away from Virgil. So anyway, they're fighting. And Vita's like, we gotta help her, you guys. Noxima's like, you know what? That's their business. Stay out of it. But Vita's like, we need to help her. So Vita comes in, whoops Virgil's ass, and kicks him out of his own house. This is a very eventful night. Like, all this shit is going down. Like, we were on the porch. There's a fight between the queens. There's a fight between Virgil and Carol Ann, and then Vita beats up Virgil. And then next thing we know, like, everyone's dressing up Bobby Lee because Chi-Chi tells Bobby Ray, like, no, or, this ain't gonna work between us. Chi-Chi tells Bobby Lee, like, you can have him. So they all, like, make over Bobby Lee and then sends her outside. And Bobby Ray is still, like, walking around in the damn town like a creep. So Bobby Ray's like, Chi-Chi, is that you? Oh, no, it's Roberta. Oh, Roberta, oh, you look pretty. And now all of a sudden Bobby Ray is in love with Bobby Lee. I mean, as long as they're not cousins, like, I think it's safe to say they're not related, so it's fine. But I mean, you've been in this town this whole time. You mean to tell me she never dressed up once, like, for anything? Oh, hilarity. So, I guess Bobby Lee and Bobby Ray are a couple now because there's this, like, little dance sequence that happens with the town. Oh, goodness. So since Virgil got kicked out, he ends up at this bar where Sheriff Dollard, I gotta think about it because it's not Dullard, but anyway, so he's alive, his ass ain't dead. He gets found by two officers who were, like, looking for him, and he's telling his story to everyone and they don't believe him, so they're all laughing at him. So he is vowing, like, revenge on the person who wronged him. So he's going to, like, ballet classes and florist, like, shops, like, so stupid. So anyway, at the end of the day, he's like, ugh. He's at this bar, he's drinking, he has Vita's shoe they got left behind. And, yeah, Virgil's like, is that your shoe? He's like, well, I'm looking for the person who where's this shoe? And now Virgil's like, I fucking know where this sicko is. So now it's the next day. So it's the strawberry social. I don't even know if I mentioned that earlier, but when they were talking about having a date with the girls earlier, they were also talking about this strawberry social that was coming up. So now they have a theme. It's red and wild, and the time has come, and everything's set for this party. But then we have Dullard driving in. Dollard. That's trying to drive me crazy now. Dollard is driving into town. Now, editing again, because how far away is this bar? Because you're like, I know where this queen is. It's like the next day. And I don't feel like it's dawn. I feel like it's like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning right now. And then Dullard is coming in. So, was this bar like all night long? Were him and Virgil talking all night long? Or were they like, well, you know what? Let's go to sleep. And then first thing in the morning, we're going to go to this town. It's so weird. The timing's just off. So anyway, he comes to town and he's like, where are the drag queens? Don't protect these freaks, okay? My name is Sheriff Dollard, not Dullard. And then we get the sweetest little scene where Carol Ann comes out, and you think it's Vita because they're both wearing red, but it's her. And Sheriff is like, you're not the one. And Virgil comes into town too, and I know Virgil's like, yes, revenge. But he's like, no, that's my wife. Like, she's not the one. And the whole town comes in, and you just look at Bobby Ray's face when the sheriff is like, don't be protecting these drag queens. And he's like, drag queens? You know, he's like, oh shit, I was in love with a dude. And Bobby Ray's there too, like, oh, not Bobby Ray, Bobby Ray's the guy. God damn it, Bobby Lee. They're together coming out of this house. And like, the way they kind of look at each other, you can tell they're like, I like the man. And she's like, you like the man? You could have had this a long time ago, but you fell in love with a man last night? So stupid. Anyway, they run the sheriff out of town. I guess Virgil is like, I don't know where he goes. He just gets in his truck and drives away. So, who's going to pay the bills? Carol Ann, okay? Anyway, the movie ends with a big party at the Strawberry Social, and it's Monday morning. I guess the part came in because Carol Ann decides to fix the car herself, and it works. And they have a little warm moment together, and yeah, the queens drive off, and the very, very final scene is them in LA. They finally made it, and they are competing for Drag Queen of America. Yeah, so they're competing for the Drag Queen of America pageant. And who is the winner? Why, Miss Chi-Chi, of course. She's all grown up and did in like a day or two. How long does it take to get to California? And she is presented the crown by the one and only Miss Julie Newmar. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yay, the movie's over. Yeah, so anyway, like I said, the story is like, it's all over the place. They're trying to fit all these events in like a couple of days, but I just feel like the pacing is just off on certain things. They're trying to get certain points across, but it's so choppy. That's the only thing that drives me crazy about this movie. But everything else is it's hilarious. Like, I can just watch that movie all day long. I feel like I know all the dialogue by now. And since this movie came out in 1995, there was a great soundtrack that came with it. Like, the music in this movie is good. You got The Body Beautiful from Salt and Pepper. You got Free Yourself by Shaka Khan. Turn It Out. You got to Turn It Out with Patti LaBelle. Who else? You got Crystal Waters, Tom Jones, the Commodores, Modifa. Cyndi Lauper did another version of Girls Just Want to Have Fun. This version is Hey Now. So it's nice and slow. And you're like, hey, okay, Cyndi. And like a lot of the musical cues from the movie on the soundtrack as well. But yes, movie and the soundtrack, because again, as I said, one good thing about the 90s, even if it's a bad movie, it usually came with a good soundtrack. Can't say that with films today. But yeah, wow, that's crazy. So yeah, you guys, that was To Wong Foo. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. And if I had to rate this movie, you know what? This movie's getting 4 shots. Okay, I'm sorry. You're not getting 5. It's not a perfect movie, but it's fun. Where else are you going to see these 3 men in drag? Especially Wesley Snipes. Come on now. It's like Wesley Snipes is Noxzema Jackson. Like, come on. Come on. John Leguizamo, I feel like he was like the best part of this movie between the 3. It is pretty sad to hear after all these years that him and Patrick Swayze didn't get along. Because I guess, like I was saying, like there was a lot of ad-libbing going on in this movie. Ad-libbing. But apparently Patrick Swayze was getting pissed off because Leguizamo was doing it, like, I guess, too much. And he was like, stick to the script. And, you know, like I said, like, whatever was like, if shit was said and done on the spot, like, it's perfect. And for all I knew, that was part of the script. They were just like, say this. But I guess I was kind of already used to seeing Leguizamo in drag because he had a comedy special a few years prior to this, or a couple. Let's see, this is 95, so maybe like 92, 93, I'm not sure. But he had this character named, was it Gloria? No. Gloria. I may have to look that up. I might be saying the wrong name. But he had this character where he's like at a laundromat and he's in drag, and it is hilarious. So I feel like this is like, he's cousins. Like, that character and Chi-Chi are pretty much cousins, okay? In my head. Yeah. Fun stuff. So, cheers. Ooh. It's okay, I got my little pink drink here. Wash it down. Gladys. That was the character's name. It just came to me. Thank you, alcohol. Yes, no, it wasn't Gloria, it was Gladys. I knew it started with a G. Have you seen To Wong Foo? Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. Let me know in the comments below. Did you like this movie? Were there other funny parts I didn't mention that you like? It's a fun watch. It's a fun watch. So, alrighty, guys. So that was a fun episode. So again, Chicago, happy Pride. I am not going. You know what? And today is like a nice day. It's not hot out. It's like 70 degrees. Of course, when I don't go to the Pride Parade, like that's when the weather acts nice. But maybe next year. I'll see you guys later at the next celebration. But YouTube, it was fun. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next episode. So until then, TTFN.